Hajj is a pilgrimage that Muslims make to Mecca, which is where the Prophet Muhammad lived in the beginning and the end of his life.
It is a time where you travel physically to Saudi Arabia, which is now what is now currently Saudi Arabia, to Mecca.
But only once a year during the 12th lunar month is the event of the Hajj itself going to occur.
And to do it is a culmination, if you wish, of a lifetime of expectation and hope to get there.
The Hajj happens in 5 days. And so, for example, when I got back, I spoke to my brother, and he joked on the phone, and he says, what does it feel like to knock out a whole pillar of Islam? And I said, wow, I feel really overwhelmed. And overwhelming is actually one of the definitions of the word Hajj.
And then the Hajj consists of visiting the house in Mecca called the Kaaba. So part of a Muslim's responsibility is to visit that house if they're able to afford to, at least once in their lifetime. And we commemorate the struggle of a family, Abraham, his wife Hagar, and his son Ismail.
You are engaging the past, and we're talking about the past which is found in the Old Testament.
We reenact certain things that the prophets did. So it's a series of rituals that have this symbolic meaning, and the purpose of the Hajj is to cleanse us.
I'd say it's a physical and spiritual journey. You're trying to tread in the path of all those ancient prophets, those giant figures, those giant names, and trying to create meaning out of all of that for yourself so that you can take that experience moving forward in your life in the year 2014 and giving meaning to the present from that past.
When you go to Mecca, Mecca is a very, it's a rocky city. It's built on a rock, which gives it a very impressive look. You don't see a lot of greenery, obviously, because you're in the middle of the very arid or desertic place. But you just become really reflective of how people could live in such a harsh environment.
And my first sensation was this ocean of people and the momentum that they exhumed was so powerful. And our bus was going slower than they were walking. And I said, they're going to the Kaaba, they're going to Salat. And I just wanted to get down off the bus and just join this flow of people. This energy was so intense.
And so we were still on the bus, and people were coming out of the sacred precincts from making the morning prayer. And I saw an individual that I knew from Oakland. I stuck my head out the window and I began to holler, "Zaki! Zaki!" And he was looking around, and the look on his face was like, who in the world is calling my name in Mecca?
It's just beautiful to know that there's Muslims pouring in from all parts of the world into this one location.
They all here, and for the same reason. So you feel, you are connected.
You got the people from, I guess, Eastern Europe, and then you got the people from India, dark, and a lot of the West Africans are dark, and then the Indonesians and Chinese.
If you want to see what the world looks like in one place, go to Mecca during Hajj.
You have certain dynamics that are similar to being in a concert. Everybody's going to a concert for one purpose, for one particular cause. But being together in a group for a spiritual cause, it just changes the flavor, if you will.
There were so many people that men and women couldn't be separate, which a lot of people always, I think there's always some struggles about gender within Islam. And so it was amazing to see, to walk by someone, and then I had to get ready for prayer, and I had to stand next to a man and pray. And when you're in the rows of prayer, you see people's feet, and you could see that everyone has like a special path and a journey, and looking at their feet signifies that.
You know, having millions, 4 million people in one place with virtually the same intention creates an environment of very heightened spiritual environment.
It eliminates boundaries in a sense, and also makes you connected with what you are as part of the species of creation. But it also has it helped me to realize that there's more work to do, both internally and externally. You know, internally for myself, but also for the community.
I think it was Thoreau said that death is a great equalizer, and I would say that actually Hajj is the great equalizer. You know, so.
It's just you're part of body. One part of body is aching, the whole body is aching.
I would like to see us as Americans think a little bit more about the twofold nature of the Hajj, and that is that we bring something to it and we take something away from it to infuse our culture as American Muslims with this longevity. I mean, we're replicating rituals that were done before the lifetime of the Prophet.
Thinking about pilgrimage, why even make pilgrimage? What's the value of a pilgrimage in this modern age? It's just that. I mean, people are making pilgrimages to the mall. You know, when I got my latest phone, you know, for the first time I went and stood in this big long line, and I was thinking about that, like a pilgrimage, like everybody's here lined up, you know, for this one thing, but it was just we're making pilgrimages to consumption, you know, for consumerism. And you make Hajj to be consumed by God. I think everybody needs to take a pilgrimage away from just themselves, to detach a little bit from the normal routine of, you know, self-obsession, to think about the immaterial. And I think that's what made me appreciate that Hajj isn't optional, it's a pillar, you know, of the faith.